Hi everybody, welcome to CCTV, Channel 17 Live 525, the Preservation Burlington Show. Preservation Burlington is a nonprofit 501c3 organization whose mission is to preserve and protect the historic architecture and livability of Burlington through education and advocacy, and we strive to do that.
Yes, we do.
Before I introduce our guest, you have the calendar. What's coming up? I mean,
well, we're starting
cemetery tours, maybe.
We're starting to wind down. Yes, we're planning a couple cemetery tours. We have the art hop coming up.
Yep. Which is a South End industrial walking tour.
Yes. There'll be a Pine Street tour, and then we're in the thick of planning our fall meetup, which is scheduled for the middle of October.
Right, and that's generally our award ceremony thing, and we've been doing tables. So it's catered, and we have tables from different preservation organizations set up all around.
And UVM historic preservation students.
Yep, they take up a big chunk of space.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what their projects are going to be
I know.
What they're going to show.
I have two of them come through Shelburne Museum for me
Nice.
this year as interns, which is really exciting. And Aiden Kyle, who was an intern year before last, is in Atlanta, Georgia now, and he just friended me on LinkedIn. I said, friended me. I actually like him and we get along, so it's almost like real friends.
We can talk about that later because we have a packed show today, so why don't you introduce our guest
No.
and let's get right to it.
But you've given us plenty of time for our intro and our exit. So, Greg, thank you for coming on the show. I know you've been putting this together for a while. And just briefly, why are you so interested in Walter R.B. Wilcox?
You know, that's part of the presentation. And sorry to steal your thunder, but
Trying to make it conversational.
basically it's because our house was designed by Walter Wilcox, and it really got me interested in this topic. So I guess I'm obsessive over it, but the result is today's program.
Things to be obsessed about.
That's true.
That's right. That's right. Well, anyway, thank you for being on the show. I know you've got a lot of stuff you want to cycle through here.
Yeah.
So why don't you take it? And
Okay.
we'll probably interject and interrupt now and again, as I do.
Okay. And I will interrupt and interject right back.
Okay, good.
To keep us on track.
So please, tell us what you've been doing.
So before we go to the program, I just wanted to give thanks to two gentlemen, Marvin Anderson and Norman Wilcox. And the reason is that Marvin Anderson is an architect and historian in East Seattle, and he did a video, illustrated talk, and it's on YouTube, on Walter Wilcox. And he got a lot of information from Norman Wilcox, who happens to be the great nephew of Walter Wilcox, the topic of our program today. And he supplied Marvin with over 200 family letters from Walter Wilcox that had been sent back and forth, photographs, quotes from the letters that went between Walter and his brother Frank and other members of the family. So I want to thank both of them very, very much, because I stole a little bit from here and there. From there. No, borrowed.
You borrowed citations.
I sent them the link to this program. And so,
Oh, terrific.
So they hopefully will be watching.
Great.
Okay. So let's go to the first slide. Why should we care about Walter Wilcox? Well, he was Burlington's first trained professional architect, and in the 12 years that he was here, he was born here, but he left and then he came back. In 12 years here, he designed 70 homes, interiors, buildings, and so on. And the ones that were most notable are the ones we know as the Carnegie, the Fletcher Free Library now, Edmonds High School, now the middle school, Burlington Savings Bank, now a Citizens Bank at College in St. Paul, and my house at 369 South Union. There's the answer to your question.
You're not supposed to dock yourself like that, you know.
Okay. Now here's a map of Burlington that shows the distribution. You can't see the detail, I'm sure, at home, but those red dots indicate all of the still existing properties that Walter Wilcox had, and they're not all there too. Some are, we'll talk about that. I'm not showing the interior renovations. He also has other projects that are not there, and I won't be covering that today.
That's our next show.
That's the next show. A few were interior remodelings or small works. 23 were buildings in other towns all over Vermont, including some in other states. And of the 70 total, 20 have disappeared over time across state. But the majority of his existing projects are right here in Burlington.
Did you say he was born in? Oh, never mind.
Yeah.
There we
Well,
go.
here's a little background on him first. Yeah, he was born Walter Ross Baums Wilcox. He was the second child born of his parents here in Burlington, August 1869. His father, his first name was Monson, was the pastor of the First Baptist Church on St. Paul Street. Because the pastor probably got a new assignment, they moved to Chicago in 1890. And Walter was old enough at that time to get a job and write for a trade publication, engineering, I believe it was. And then he was, before he left to Boston in 1892, he went to the Columbian Exposition, where he was inspired by the architecture there, and that moved him to go to MIT, apply to MIT. Well, MIT didn't accept him. He was misled. They told him, you know, if you study this and that, different aspects of architecture, come on back and we'll admit you. Pfft, didn't happen. So he went over to the University of Pennsylvania.
At
in
about how old?
1893. Well, let's do the arithmetic. 69 to 92.
Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Okay.
I don't have my calculator with me.
I don't either, but 70 to 92, 20-something years old.
There you go.
He's like college age.
Yeah, round it up.
Yep.
Yeah. So anyway, they admitted him as a provisional student, as a special student, because he still didn't have the qualifications, and because of his personality, he was really ambitious and rambunctious, and so he only stayed there a year, and then he moved to Burlington in 1894, and he opened an office, an architectural office.
Wow.
So, of the first 16 buildings I'm about to show you, all were originally commissioned as residences, except a couple of exceptions. And then the second group of 12 after that, all were built for other reasons, other functions. But in each of these two major sections, I put them in the order, chronological order, when Wilcox began their design, not when they were completed, because some people will see these and see the dates and they'll say, no, that's
Oh,
no.
we get that all the time.
Oh, good.
Don't worry
Okay.
about it.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because sometimes it takes 3 or 4 years after it's
Right.
accepted.
Something's
before the-
commissioned and designed and the build out.
Exactly,
Yeah, for sure.
exactly. And as you look at these residences, you might see some things in common. Similar kind of railing height, pedimented porches with classical shaped columns. You'll see that frequently. And of course shingles, use of shingles. So originally built as, that is, private residences. So here we have the first one, 1894, the earliest one, 109 South Prospect. It was private residence, as it says, but UVM Pierce Spalding House right across the campus.
Yeah.
Okay. Second one, 1895, 324 South Union. Today it's a couple of apartments in there, and if we had time, we could look at some of the detail. It's just gorgeous. You'll see the pedimented and railings on the porch. 1895. Was a private residence and still is a private residence. You'll see the tower. You can see the Richardsonian influences.
Yeah.
in this,
Yeah.
Right?
I don't know if that one has been on the home store. I think it might have been. I know this
It
house.
was.
I know his house too.
Well, it happens to be my and my wife's house. It is, started in it was designed in 1895 as a private residence, this house is built for Frank Boynton. He was a shoe store. He owned a shoe store on Church Street, and Walter wrote his brother Frank. He said in a letter, he says he's so proud of it that I like my work better than ever. I'm learning many an important thing every day and have just the nerve to tackle any job I can get. He was really proud. So one
So
of the
he was
things
learning on your house.
apparently, but anyway, what is amazing is that what also got me interested in this. One of the photographs, I got 4 photographs from Frank through Norman.
This is inside your house.
Marvin Anderson from Norman. And this is an interior shot in 1899 of what it looked like at the time. And there are
Right.
3 others, and we don't have time to get in detail.
I know, but you showed me them, so I've seen them. I
They're
really
wonderful, aren't
appreciate
they?
It's so fun to live in a house, and your house is what it is now, and your house is beautiful, and then to see how it was and how it was.
Victorian, you can see the Victorian influences.
I know, that late
1899.
1800s, it's like that transition period.
Beautiful stuff. Well, here we go with a little bit, 1895, but a little bit more modest for 14 Hickok Place, just off of Pearl. It's an apartment building right now. I think there's 3 or 4 there. Here's one in 1895.
Yeah.
Again, you see that gable front. You see it's very symmetrical. It was built as 2 residences, and right now it's 2 apartments.
It's one of my favorite ones. I'm glad to know who built it.
Yeah, I love
isn't
that
it nice?
style, and I'm a fan of symmetry. So
Well, you would love this house. 1895. It's 2 apartments, 59 to 61 North Prospect. You got to go there and see the detail. If we had time, I would show you details. It's just magnificent.
next show, interiors is the theme of the next show.
Oh, sorry. Here's 1895. Another. He's busy. He was busy between 1895 and 1900.
Yeah.
Again, it was built.
How many he built between this period?
Well, 70
Altogether.
yeah, but that included outside and all around the state and some out of state.
Yeah.
Right.
But there are 2 apartments, again symmetrical, 2 doors. I don't know what the wall is between the 2, but that must be there. Now, here we go to Champlain College's McDonald Hall. He designed this for Mr. Smith, who was the president of the Burlington Savings Bank at the time. So you can see why it's so magnificent. Right? Here, this is the Lindsley House.
Oh, my in-laws lived in a condominium in that
I
building.
know 3 people who live in that in this Lindsley house, and it was done for Dr. Lindsley, hence the name. Now it's a condominium. I think it's 4 or 5 units, at least 4, maybe 5.
We've actually restored the balustrade on that tower.
Oh my God! 81 South Williams. Now this is was a private. Now it has 3 condominiums in the main building. Now, if you look up 81 South Williams, you'll find that there are 23 more units at 81.
Yeah, that's one of those.
Look at the back. Yeah, take a look at the back.
Yeah, pull that back up again. So yeah, you can
on
see
the left,
it right there.
Yeah, it goes way back.
Classic, where they run them all the way down the hill.
They're
up
not.
the back.
They're joined, but you can't get
Yeah.
between the 2 buildings. Okay. 1900 jumped in 88 North Prospect. Very modest again, but now it has 3 apartments in it. Now here's when
My neighbor.
Walter Wilcox returned to Burlington after he married his wife Evelyn, October 1899, and he came back to Burlington at that time, and he built this for the family. This is where he lives now. His wife Evelyn and Eva's sister Edna live there, and if you can see any similarity between this and those other magnificent structures,
I know. You know, it's funny.
let me know.
You're going to get to his office, right, where it
Yes.
was in Burlington?
Yes.
So that's my wife's favorite building, one
too.
of her.
Me too.
That building, which is right near our place, she hates it. I like it. I think it's interesting, but you could definitely, like you just said, the stylistic differences.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
I'm curious. Did you unearth anything about why he designed it that way?
I have no information about that. Sorry.
Yeah.
There are a lot of things in here that this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm going to delve more
yeah.
deeply. You'll see some others that I have questions about too. This particular is really
smell it
beautiful.
regular.
The Leslie Terrace Apartments. This was built by a gentleman, Peck, Dr. Peck, for his daughter. Her name was Leslie, I believe, as a way to earn money. This was originally apartments.
There are a lot of that in Burlington.
4 of these are owner-occupied, and 4 are rentals.
Okay.
And they're really nice. It was a very interesting and very, very different project for Wilcox, but he loved it. 1902, 505 South Willard. This was originally built as an apartment building, but now it's switched over to a private residence.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
I don't know how many units could have been in this building, but
I know.
But again, look at the shingles. Look at the the gable front. The really magnificent design, I think. And then 1906, one of his last residences, if not the last, is now a special needs group home, 405 South Willard.
Yep.
So now we're going to go into the offices, businesses, and schools section, and we're going to jump back in time. 1894. This was an office building, and now you can get a tattoo while you're eating pizza in this building.
Wow.
Paisanos is on the first floor, and the tattue business is on the second, I suppose. Yeah, it must be second.
And you can
floor.
see a little bit of road construction in the front there.
You can tell when I shot these pictures. Right? As you know, Wells Richardson was a very incredible business, a very big business here in Burlington, and this was their warehouse. And it is today leased spaces for businesses, offices, and so on.
Office space.
Yeah, and there are some available if you are interested. I don't get any commissions.
I would love one, but
But yeah. Now this is a kind of a change in pace here. 1897, he was hired or commissioned by the Green Mountain chapter of the Daughters of the American Revolution to create this plaque. And if you walk into Battery Park off Battery Street, you'll see this on a boulder. And the reason I'm including this, well, it was done in honor of, or in memory of the defense of Burlington by the 13 guns there at Battery that shot at the British gunboats out in 1813. But take a look at this tablet and take a look at the font. I'm no font nerd, but you know, when I got a close look at this, I said, I have an encyclopedia of fonts. I just said I'm not a font nerd.
Yeah, liar.
But look at the H, the H's.
It is an interesting font.
Yeah, look, it's a serif font, but very subtle font. But anyway, if anybody can tell me if he designed this, maybe his partner in business, who we'll talk
Right,
about.
because you have no examples of
Exactly.
something
I couldn't find this. So anyway, that's why it's here. Jumping ahead to 1960.
I'm a bit of a font nerd, so I think I have homework when I get home tonight.
Thank you. Thank you, Ron.
Thank you. Send me that picture.
He also then got, years later, he got this assignment to design the lookout at Battery Park. And now I don't know if the Canon was there at the time, but it may have been. But if you lived or visited Burlington, you probably were there.
Yep.
Yeah. Here it is, Ron.
There.
Yeah. His partner's last name was Sayward, and so this was his office. And I, you know, I'm not zooming in, and spending time. But you have to. This is right next to where Ben and Jerry's had their business.
The gas station was right
gas
there on the
station.
corner.
Bennington Potter's right there.
And Bennington
Exactly.
Potter's right next to it.
So please go downtown and take a look.
have
at
a
this
beer
really-
at Pub and Brewery and stare at that building.
Oh my
The
gosh.
door is phenomenal.
Isn't
the
it?
door, right? Yeah.
Isn't it? Yeah, it's
my
spectacular.
favorites.
So anyway, the work on this is magnificent. What he didn't do in his house, he did here. You know?
Yeah. Yeah. Right. Right.
Yeah, he saved it up. Of course, everybody knows the Edmonds School, the Edmonds High School at the time in 1898. It started. It was commissioned. Now, of course, it's the middle school. And I mentioned Mr. Smith, the president of the Burlington Savings Bank. Well, this was his bank.
That was the bank.
And right on the corner, it faces College Street. It's now 148 to 158, and if anybody knows what's on the upper floors, I'm eager to find that out too. That's one of my questions on my tick list.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. 444 South Union School.
Oh,
Adams
yeah.
School.
Yeah.
A couple of people, I think, a board member, or at least somebody who is involved with Burlington, Preservation Burlington, lives there. But
Ethan
otherwise,
Fenn.
There, you didn't have to say his name.
Oh, I'm docking him. Sorry. Doxing him. Yeah.
Well, his name is on the sign, so I guess.
Oh, yeah, I know. Exactly.
There you go.
So, yeah. And in Union Street Media, we did a whole bunch of window restorations and an interior project for them. I love that building, is my point.
Yeah.
Except
And-
that hot walkway.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of that.
I know. Well, it's not original, so.
1902. There's
There
the
we go.
Carnegie, the original Carnegie building, and that's my wife Megan in a early 1900s
Yeah.
gown. Yeah,
You are in trouble when you get home.
I photoshopped all the trees out. Yeah, that's. I don't know the date of this, but obviously it was fairly close to
Yeah.
1904,
It
1905.
looks like a postcard photo.
It was.
right?
It's from a postcard. Yeah, yeah. 1902, another school. This is the fourth one we've seen now.
Killer.
This was called the Archibald Street School.
Yes.
Then it became H.O. Wheeler School, and now it's the Integrative Arts Academy, which just opened after renovations.
Renovations.
Yeah.
Yeah, so everybody's happy there. Now I want to say something about these schools. Bob Blanchard did a book, Lost Burlington.
Yeah.
And a lot of architects these people hired architects from out of state, and they came and they built these schools, but they weren't functional. The form, they concentrated on the form, but not the function. So they were all demolished.
Yeah.
Walter Wilcox held form and function. He said, you know, there's a function. The form should follow the function,
Right.
and therefore his school buildings, all except for one, have survived.
Generally still exist, all except for
Exactly.
one.
Except for
That's
one.
pretty interesting.
Yeah, I don't have a picture of that, but yeah, but that
Right,
was,
yeah, that's neat.
Here's a little minor project that he took on, 1903, the Greenmount Cemetery entrance posts.
Oh, nice.
Very distinctive, but they are his.
Still there.
They're still there, yeah. Dewey Hall, which we know Dewey Hall today, was in 1904 the UVM's medical department. And if you look above the entrance up there and take a look sometime, you'll see the medical department in the concrete, I suppose it is, right up in
I
there.
would love to see that uncovered and repaired up top.
Look at this, 1905. The U.S. Weather Bureau had Wilcox design them an office building, and here it is. It was a U.S. Weather Bureau. And now, of course, as you can read, it's the UVM ROTC building, right across from, this is the Davis Center, I believe, is right across the street.
Yep.
Yep. Okay, so the question is, whatever happened to Walter Wilcox
Which
after
I
he
was
left?
just going to ask.
Here
He
we
had
are.
such an expansive career, it seems. I mean, he was busy.
Well, he said that in a letter that getting established was difficult for him, especially during the economic downturn of the mid-1890s, excuse me. And he frequently found himself competing with entrenched practices. By 1906, he became depressed. This competition, he was quoted in one of the letters as saying, "Burlington people have in the past depended so much on carpenters and builders that they seem to think it's superfluous to hire an architect and will not pay the ordinary percentage." So his wife, in addition to that, his wife Evelyn became unhappy living. Although she's a Northeasterner, she was unhappy living in the East. So he had a business trip or something. He went to Chicago. He actually lived in Chicago for a while, as I mentioned earlier. And 3 different men in 3 different places, he must have been talking around the town, said, "Go to Seattle. There's where it's happening. So go to Seattle." So he picked up his goods and went to Seattle in 1906. And then he came back in 1907 to Burlington to finish up those last projects that we saw in 1906, 97. And he also brought along his partner, William Sayward. If you can see on the slide, he had been a partner with Walter since 1899. In Seattle, he just thrived. Dozens and dozens of more projects, that's another show, that he did there. But he became embedded in the city planning process. He was really admired for his understanding of what a city needs to be vibrant and how the architecture fits into that. So, and he also respected architects. He wrote his mother, he said, and this is a quote, "There are fewer restrictions here than in the East. People employing an architect expects he understands his business, and they leave it to him. There was none of that nagging that one was accustomed to in New England."
So he was no longer depressed, I take it.
No, he wasn't.
Yeah.
So he just loved it there. And of the many structures, many private, some commissioned, but some civic. And one of the civic structures he built he's known for the wall. Now, I mentioned that I drew a lot of information from Marvin Anderson's video program. Well, the title of his program is Walter Wilcox, the Man Behind the Walls. Well, this is a collage of the walls that Walter Wilcox designed. And they're known for they're in the Queen Anne section of Seattle, and they overlook Puget Sound. So it attracts folks, and especially the residents there just love the place.
Nice. And still there.
Yeah.
New bucket list destination.
Now I got to move quickly through this, but his final career move was to Eugene, Oregon. In 1922, the University of Oregon offered him a teaching position, and so he moved there. And then in 1924, he said, well, until 1924, he was working as an architect as well as teaching.
Juggling.
And doing, he was juggling too much. And so in 1924, he said, "I've had enough with working as an architect. I love teaching. I love working with students." And he then became the head of the School of Architecture there at the University of Oregon. And he changed the school. They had grades. He threw away grades. I think, from what I understand, he kind of picked up with John Dewey's philosophy of teaching. That it's sort of implied here. I don't have that. Don't know that for sure.
Yet.
Yeah. So he did that for 1940. And was a highly respected and loved by his students and his peers, everybody there. When he retired, he continued on. He says, "I love people. I want to be." So he held weekly salons in his home. He invited students, former students, professors, architects came to his house. And that happened until 1942 when his wife Evelyn died. His health declined. And so there are so many people that were caring for him. It wasn't a problem. They cared for him at home, and he finally died in April of 1947.
No children?
No children that we know of. That's a good question. I have another thing on my checklist. I got to find out. So anyway,
Wow.
His Wilcox's final career move, and here I'm going to steal from Marvin Anderson a little bit. I'm going to paraphrase a phrase from his presentation. He was a humanist. He believed in people and sought to have them do their best. He spoke and wrote much on equality, that cities should be planned with goals and ideals that were practical, functional, but also artistic. Mass, proportion, line, and material should dictate design, architecture that is not dictated by styles. He believed that simplicity and utility could be beautiful. Mm-hmm. So that was basically the summary of his philosophy. So that's the end of my presentation. So I want to thank Town Meeting TV.
And that's him there.
Preservation Burlington.
That's the wall.
And there's Walter.
Yeah. So I'm curious, it sounds like you have amassed a ton of research and then there's still more to be done. Is this going to be a book? Is this what's the end result going to be here? Because I think this is really important.
I mean, very obviously we have follow-up show.
Yeah.
But
I'd like to take some
what's the logical? Where are you bringing all this information? And you just said you still have questions you want answered.
I do. Well, if anyone, I don't have the link here, but I would recommend to learn more about him and what he did. There are two resources, and one is on that table over there.
Okay.
It's an inventory of all his work all his work.
Yeah.
And I have that I
You
drew
put
from.
that together?
No, that was given to me.
Okay.
Oh, we can put that up on our website.
Yeah, that's true. The folks at the library, they photocopied it. They wanted a copy of all this. And also, the other is the Walt on YouTube. If you search for Walter Wilcox, the man behind the wall, you'll see Marvin Anderson's program. It's an hour long, an illustrated talk, just like this. And one of the reasons that I got hooked on this was because about 5 or 6 or 7 minutes into the video, after he gives the fact that he was born in Burlington and so on, up pops a picture of our house.
Wow.
Yeah.
and some of the interior shots. So I said, oh my God, this is something I have to do more with.
Yeah. That's really great. And thank you. And I'm not even kidding when I say I think we need another show and we can do some interior stuff and just the pictures you've shown me of your house originally and we can juxtapose that maybe. Again, I don't want to dox anybody here, but we're lucky in Burlington to have such a deep history of architecture and to find somebody who was the first architect in Burlington and see I'm shocked that he moved, but I understand it. And he just kept growing. Everywhere he went, he left a huge impact. So
outside of the entrance of the Lawrence School of Architecture at the University of Oregon is a giant plinth, giant boulder.
Yep.
With his bust on there. And I didn't put it in the program because it looks a little kind of weird. It's like he took his head and stuck it on the boulder.
In the bottom of a column.
Yeah.
Right. Well, Greg, thank you, and I'm looking forward to talking about this some more. And the more information you get, the bigger we can have a program. We could, I smell a talk at the annual awards.
I was just going to say the same thing. You read my mind.
So, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in to CCTV live at 5:25 in our Preservation Burlington show. For more information on Burlington history, tours, and events, or to get a marker for your historic house, or follow up with some of this information that we're going to be posting, go to preservationburlington.org, and we'll see you next month.